matrix, expand our minds, and of course make us all think. That's the thing I like to do. If I make your brain go thinking about things and go deeper, then I'm doing right exactly what I wanted to do on here in the first place. So hopefully you guys are doing well and have had a great weekend. We've had a pretty good weekend. My body is kind of in a bit of a fight. But other than that, I'm doing great. Can't complain too much at all, to be honest. It was an awakening weekend for myself, and I'm glad the weekend is past and we're in the moment of now. So we've got some amazing lessons ahead of here. And if you are going to be coming on and watching this right now, then grand risings to you. And if you're watching this afternoon, then good afternoon. And if you're watching it this evening, then good evening. And if you have not hit subscribe yet, please do that. Also hit the likes and all that kind of stuff on there as well. Make your comments. Please feel free to ask questions, and I'll do my best to get back to them. Another thing is also don't forget to check out Linktree Mystical Ariel. It's on there. You can also on Amazon. Let's not forget the Awaken series. Please get yourself a copy. It's where get the copy of all of them. It's a series that goes into more in depth of everything that I've been teaching on here for the last several many years now. It is great to talk with you guys and all of those things. And I'm excited for your journeys. I've been excited to hear little stories here and there from different people. So of course, good morning, grand risings, and welcome back. Welcome back, beloved souls. If you've made it this far on the awakening journey, you've likely already felt the sting of being misunderstood, right? How many? I know everybody out there gets misunderstood. It's just the way it is. Rejected or even judged for walking a different path, right? So in yesterday, or not yesterday, but on Fridays, we talked about, why people reject you after awakening. Why we still go through that, and how the system responds to us, and when someone remembers their true nature, what that even looks like. We met the four types of people in the human prison system that we have. The asleep, the ones still lost in illusion, and then we see the threatened, those who defend the system to the core. And then we see the transitional, those, waking up, but still unstable. And the awakened, your true tribe, the ones where you just can be. Today we're going to move from understanding into action. Now that you've awakened, how do you protect your energy? That's a good question, isn't it? How do we protect our energy? And how do we find our real people? I mean, come on. We got to figure that shit out, don't we? So let's talk about the 5 traps. Good morning, good morning. How's it going? Some of the 5 traps, okay? Um, and how this system recaptures you in him. The moment you awaken, the system doesn't celebrate you, by the way. It actually tries to pull you back. The system doesn't want you to shake it, because every awakened soul is lost energy. They can't do anything, and it's lost energy for the collective illusion. And they don't want that. So there are 5 main traps this system uses to reclaim your light. So here they are. 1, the guilt trap. And it sounds like this. You think you're better than us, don't you? You've changed. And then you get, and they're right. You have changed. You've evolved. Hello, I am from Turkey. I am from the universe. I'm dust in the wind, and I go from wherever I want to be. But welcome, welcome. How's it going? So, science tells us that awakening literally rewires the brain. So you've dramatically changed. The neural pathways from old identity dissolve basically, and you start operating from prefer, you know, well, I can't speak, but the prefrontal cortex is frontal part here, and the operating from the that area is a seat of awareness, right? So instead of the amygdala, which is the driven in fear, when you change frequencies, those who remain in the old ones, they experience it as rejection. But you're not rejecting them. You're simply refusing to reject yourself. And people aren't used to that in a people pleasing, fear mongering world. But growth isn't arrogance. Boundaries aren't superiority. It's not like I'm better than you bullshit. They are your self respect in action. You know, you can simply respond, I'm not better than you. I'm just being true to who I am. And I wasn't before. And I mean, then there's the concerned troll. Let's not forget about those. And they go like this. You're not yourself lately. I mean, this spiritual stuff seems unhealthy. Throughout history, every awakened being was labeled unstable by their culture. Mystics like Rumi, St. Francis, and Jung all touched realms beyond logic. And those still asleep called them mad. And today we honor those things. You see, the agnostics warned us of the archons. It's this invisible ruler of illusions. And it would always pathologize awakening because if they can make you doubt your clarity, you'll self censor your truth. I mean, you can respond like, I appreciate your concern, but I've never been more clear, more at peace. And this is not a breakdown, it's breakthrough, you know? It's breakthrough. So trap 3, nostalgia hook. You're gonna hear this. I miss the old you. You know, can't we go back to how things were? But here's the truth. They miss who you were pretending to be. The mask that kept comfortable. The you that didn't challenge their illusions. See, nature shows us the truth here. The snake cannot crawl back into its old skin. Evolution never reverses direction. And you can say with love, I honor who I was, but I can't unsee truth. If you can meet me here, I welcome you. But I can't go back to pretending. I can't go back to something I'm not. See, the spiritual ego is accusations. It sounds like you think you're enlightened, and the only way to disarm it is with self honesty. You know, ask yourself, am I expanding in humanity or defending in identity of being awake? If it's the latter, adjust. But if it's the former, then understand that the accusations is projection. You know what Plato wrote? Plato wrote, the republic that when the man escapes the cave and the returns to tell the others of the light, they call him insane. And the same happens when you return from illusion. Your light offends their comfort. Sometimes it's not attack, it's temptation. We got great examples happening right here on chat, everybody. Look at that. Sometimes it's not attack, it's temptation. A new job, a new relationship, a dramatic event that seems meant to be, but secretly drains your energy. The agnostics warn this as archeons will use what you desire most to trap you, not through darkness, but through imitating light. And before you say yes to anything, ask, does this align with my authentic path, or does it sedate my spirit? You want to know the 7 tests of genuine connection? So as you awaken, many will approach you, but not all are real. The nervous system knows truth, but the mind does. Now here's the 7 ones. The 7 ones that reveal who truly are aligned. Number 1, consistently over time, truth is stable. Illusions is impossible. Watch patterns, not moments. That's where we got to pay attention. Healthy connection flows both ways. In nature, nothing can take endlessly without decay. Number 3, response to boundaries. Real people respect your no. False ones punish you for it. They push you. Comfort with your light. Number 4, if your joy makes them uncomfortable, they were feeding on your pain. Number 5, depth, capacity. Can they sit in silence with you without needing to fill it with noise? I got few friends that I can do that with, and it's the most beautiful thing ever. See, depth is the language of the soul. The mirror test. Do you feel more yourself around them or less? The fruit test. Jesus said, by their fruit you shall know them. Real connection produces peace, clarity, and growth. False ones bring confusion, anxiety, and drama. Remove yourself from them. It doesn't help you or your health or your body. See, your body knows before the mind does. Trust its wisdom. Listen to that heart of yours. Listen to that mind. It knows the truth. Love and protection. See, boundaries are not walls. They are sacred architecture, energetic geometry that defines your field. Even atoms maintain boundaries. So does the cosmos. The Hermetic axiom says, as above, so below. Just as planets orbit in divine order, you too have sacred space that must remain in balance. Your no is holy. It is the immune system of your soul. And say it clearly, no, I'm not available for that. The people who respect it are your people. The ones who punish you for it have revealed themselves. You can have fierce boundaries and soft heart, and that's true mastery. And say, I love you, and I can't be around you when you're like this. That is power with grace. I do that, I remove myself. The moment I'm like, oh, no, that's chaos. I'm out. See you later. I'll come back around, but I'm going to take a little bit of time. Your heart is not a metaphorical electrical. It really is. It literally is generates an electromagnetic field, measurable up to 8 feet around you. Unless you're like me, it's measurable beyond. Every thought and emotion carries frequencies. And when you interact with people, your field entangles so clearly. It's not superstition, it's actually science. For instance, try this. Stand or visualize roots anchoring into the earth and see any energy not your own drain down to to be composted by Gaia. Then visualize golden light filling your body, pushing out what is foreign. Affirm, I release what is not mine. I reclaim what is mine. I am sovereign. You can always visualize energetic cords to draining people and gently cut them, sealing your field in light. Do this daily and after interactions, before sleep, and upon waking up. So many of you walking alone right now, and I know it hurts for some of you, but hear this: loneliness is not punishment, it is initiation. Every awakened soul must pass through the wilderness. Yeshua had 40 days in the desert. Buddha wandered alone before enlightenment, and Moses met God in solitude. The desert strips you of dependency, and it teaches you that your source is within. Modern neuroscience even supports this solitude, activates the brain's default mode. So that which allows you to have introspection and to pay attention, and it brings healing and integration into the body. And there's a difference between isolation and solitude. Isolation says, no one wants me. Solitude says, I choose who has access to me. You're not alone because you're defecting. You're defective. You're not alone at all because you're in solitude. You're not alone because you're selective. Solitude is a healthy thing. And you don't find your tribe by searching. You attract them by frequencies. In quantum physics, like vibrations resonate. And when you embody authentic frequencies, those attuned to it will feel the pull. So instead of asking, where is my tribe? Ask, how can I become a fully myself that my tribe can recognize me? Let your light be seen, people. Don't water down your truth to fit in. Patience, divine timing is real. Faith in universe is orchestrated. Synchronicity is on your behalf. So here's the thing from my book. Okay, I wrote this in my book, an Awaken, Return to Eden. This is from that book. When two who have eaten from the tree meet, there is no need for introduction. The light recognizes itself. The signs your tribe is near is suddenly connection who speak your language. And old relationships transform, and you feel peaceful in your solitude. You get shallow connections that become intolerable. You no longer want to be around them. But you get deep bonds formed quickly timelessly with ones that are awakened. The Christ principles, your light will divide. Yahshua said, I come not to bring peace, but a sword. Not a weapon, but the sword of truth, calling illusion from reality. Hey, how's it going, bro? In agnostic tradition, the Christ light is the logos, the pattern of divine order that exposes falseness. And when you carry that light, you become ungovernable by fear, guilt, or shame. Every awakened being was crucified by the system, not always on wood, but in repetition, in gossip, in slander. They were exiled in misunderstandings, yet crucifixion is followed by resurrection. You rise. So remember that. The death of your false self births your true ones. So practical tools for everyday sovereignty, the gray rock method. When you must engage with draining people, become neutral. Become uninterested. Don't feed the energy loop. And before replying to anything emotionally charged, wait 24 hours. Respond from clarity, not reaction. Ask yourself, who energizes me? Who drains me? And where am I giving without return? And adjust accordingly. The blessing and release. Write their names on paper. Say, I bless you. I release you and I set you free. I set myself free. Burn it. Visualize light returning to the source. This is how you love without attachment. And then the 3 commitments. 1, I will not shrink for anyone's comfort. Your light is not up for negotiation. 2, I will protect my energy as sacred. You are the guardian of your temple. And 3, I will trust my tribe in finding me because they are. Across timelines, frequencies, and dimensions, they are walking towards your vibration. Remember that. The butterfly emerges, everyone. Right now, many of you feel like you're dissolving because you are. The caterpillar must melt before it becomes the butterfly. But you're not dying. You're becoming. Loneliness you feel is the space between worlds. Across the earth, others are awakening, removing their masks, learning to set boundaries, and walking through the same silence. So remember that. Eve stood at the edge of the garden alone, and she could have returned to comfort and slavery. But she whispered, I would rather die, free than enslaved. And from the distance she saw others, those who had also eaten from the tree, and they recognized each other. And this was not the garden of comfort. It was the garden of truth. Eve smiled, and she had never been alone. She had just been waiting for her tribe to find her. Your tribe is not a myth. They are real. They're already finding you. And until they arrive, you have yourself, and that is enough. Walk in power, walk in truth, walk in sovereignty. The butterfly emerges. All right, guys, make sure you do one thing towards your dreams every single day. It brings you one step closer. Make sure you recognize you're valuable and you matter. You're all unique puzzle pieces, a part of the ultimate puzzle of the cosmos. Peace and love. We'll see you guys tomorrow.